Whatever you want.
That looks really cool. When you were doing it too.
Hello, everyone.
We know
It's early.
It's real early.
What's
right?
the time?
This is way against our nature.
Be like
It
3
is.
hours early.
Oh, I'm gonna be in bed so early now, you guys.
It's good.
Yes.
Prudence is joining tonight.
Like
Hey, crew.
part of the
She's
Lady
here.
Lounge Club.
She's here. She's
Hey,
ready.
Ready
Allie.
to go.
So, we are here to talk to you guys all about
That online presence.
Prudence.
She's gonna attack your bun. She'll do it.
We're here to talk all about your online presence, talking more social media.
Yeah, we
Not-
talked last week about
Yes.
just like all kinds of
things
business
business.
things
Starting-
in general. Lots of information. So we're gonna run
Do
with some
all
of that
the
and go a
lives,
little bit.
yeah.
Hone in a little bit on the
So,
securing
the
your online
online.
presence.
yes, social media related.
Because you, we talked about this a little bit last week, but before you even go to sell something or launch something, if you don't have anyone to launch to, it's probably not going to go really well. There's going to be a lot of crickets. So
True.
you should be, working on creating a following, creating a fan base for yourself so that there are people that are ready to support you in whatever you're doing and whatever you're going to do in the future.
Truth.
Yeah, like a whole little
Make-
community,
yeah.
culture,
Yes.
kind of thing.
And if you already have a business going, but you feel like something's missing or you just don't have like the response that you want from your posts, you can apply all of these same things and just trust the process. And it'll take a little bit of time to build that audience, but it's always a good idea to implement this. So whether you're planning on starting something and you want to get your online presence going before you launch, or if you already have launched something and you're just kind of hearing crickets when you post, all of these tips can help you just kind of boost your engagement and attract people to start watching you and keeping their eye out on your stuff.
Also, even if you don't have your own business, if you're working somewhere else, these are still
Yes.
like really helpful tips. If you're working for someone else and
Right.
you're trying to move up, if you in any way manage social media for what you do, or maybe the business that you work for doesn't even have an online presence, and you be like, hey, I'm an expert, let me do this, and then
Right.
be like, let me give you more money.
That is
So-
like sidebar, super, super valuable. Like if you can go to a business that maybe doesn't have an online presence or has a very generic online presence and almost create a job for yourself and become the expert in social media. That's kind of how I got my promotion, is basically I was like,
Yeah,
let me become the district manager of social media and marketing.
which is amazing.
And so now that's my job, and it's exciting and it's fun, and I get to spend all day doing this stuff. Woo! It's really exciting.
And guys, even me, like right now, like my business is more of like a brick and mortar. Like I had a store for, not a store. I've had my studio shop, if you will, whatever you want to call it, for 9 years. So I will be honest, like this is something even I've been working on / need to work on more. So I'm gonna take our information. It's just taking it from my traditional marketing ways. Like I used to do a lot of like in-person stuff, a lot of health fairs, a lot of stuff like that, and mailings. Oh my gosh, because that was 2009 when I started. So
Snail mail.
yeah, snail mail,
Mailing out flyers.
seriously. Which that stuff's still valuable, but for me, it's like now it's time to really
It's
be
easier and
working.
it's cheaper.
Yeah,
It's free.
Online. If you
And
could
it's-
take the money you spend on mailers
Yeah.
and put it into like boosting posts on social media, my goodness,
Yeah.
you would reach so many
Honey.
people. Honey.
Here we go.
So we're going to start at the top with the basics and then kind of work into the action steps that you need to be taking. So to start, your profile has to look the part. So whether, for me, my makeup business stems from my personal page and I kind of direct them towards my website, my beauty blog, my business page, or if you just have a business Facebook page, which is what we do at my day job. For the gyms, we just have business pages. You want to make sure that your profile looks the part. So again, whether that's personal or business, make sure that it looks the part, so you have like a professional profile picture. It should be, if you're selling, like for me, I'm selling makeup, so my profile picture is always my face. I don't do group pictures as my profile picture. I want someone who, when they click on like my profile or they see my face commenting, I want them to see me.
Yeah.
And then your cover photo should relate to your business. Like for me, it's just like an inspirational quote or something. But having like whatever you offer or something that relates to your business as your cover photo, you want to use, your cover photo is the largest photo on your profile, whether it's business or personal. So take advantage of that giant eye-catching image right when they click on your page. So make sure that your profile picture and your cover photo are professional and they look great. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to talk. So that was like Facebook. As far as Instagram goes, take advantage of your bio. You don't have a lot of space, but if someone sees you comment on something and they click to go to you, that's what they're going to see. And you have roughly like 10 seconds to grab their attention. So if it's like female, Wisconsin, people are going to be like, okay, that's boring.
Right.
Like, I have nothing. So my bio I worked on for a while, and it says stuff like whiskey infused, she-wolf. It has my Myers-Briggs personality type and like ramen obsessed or something. So there's like connection points in there, and then it also says, you know, like what I do, like photographing adventurous couples and wildish women. So like there's an immediate connection point where people they might say like, oh my gosh, I love whiskey too. Right. Or like ramen, yes, like I love that she's obsessed, you know. It might seem silly, but putting some time and thought into that, like I said, to make connection points right away and grab someone's attention.
And I think those same tips, Chloe, go for like the About Me section on your Facebook. I'm more of a Facebooker. My Instagram is kind of just like, I keep up with it just for the sake of like someday I might nail this down. And the more that I kind of play around on Instagram, the more I've realized its capabilities. But so Chloe's your Instagram gal. I can Facebook all day.
Yeah.
But definitely take advantage of your About Me section and, like Chloe said, make it quick and catchy and connection points. Let people know what to expect if they keep scrolling. And then also on Facebook, you can have featured photos. So right now, it's a really weird like setup where there's an issue with like the layouts. So if you put featured photos, I recommend putting 3 at this point because it's not, no matter how many you put, it keeps the picture the same size. So instead of having one picture that's nice and big like it used to, now there's a glitch and it stays nice and small. So take advantage of those featured photos and just kind of give them like a sneak peek of your profile, like what to expect. Like one of mine is like, join my beauty blog, another is a picture of my dog, and then another is like a picture of me, actually both of the pictures of me on there you took, with like a quote on there. So they can kind of know what to expect if they decide to keep scrolling and like investigate your profile. They already have like a taste. So definitely take advantage of the small little like clips that you can get people's attention with quickly at the top of your page. So make sure that everything looks the part. Anything else to add to making your profile look the part?
I would say when you're like something, I know we kind of talked about this before, more so struggling with like, you look at some of these other profiles and you're like, oh, I really like their color scheme, their layout, like the types of stuff that they're posting that you see repeated. And I think we are both kind of indecisive about that. Like, oh, I really love the look of these things and I stick with that for about 2 weeks and then I like find something else I really like, which kind of comes from looking at too many other like eyes way off the road, like way too often. But the other thing I would say with that is that kind of goes with nailing down your ideal client. And again, what speaks to them. It's not always so much like what you like. It's, I mean, this could go so far to like a logo and like your brand colors, which I'm sure we'll talk about more someday. But that is kind of where you can draw like, okay, how do I want this to look? Like I want it to look like something, again, the people I want to work with would want to look at.
Right. So say like your ideal client shops at Anthropologie. Well, go look at Anthropologie's branding and say like, what are they posting? Like, what is the general theme? Like, is it light and airy? Is it dark and moody? Is it like clean and simple? What are the feels? And like, what type of verbiage are they using? Like, what are they saying in their captions, and how are they saying it? And using that to kind of don't like steal their stuff word for word or like picture for picture, but go and look at that and
Try
say,
to
okay,
create the same feel.
yeah, yep. So that, yeah.
So I think it comes down to a lot of like how you want to make your customer feel when they go to your page. Like, do you want to what do you want to invoke, and like what do they want to see, and what's going to keep them engaged and intrigued. And for me, for the longest time, I had to get away from like what I like to see and what I think looks nice and what I wanted to put out there, and start thinking more from my customer's point of view and be more informative and more like attention grabbing, because it's different for my ideal client.
And it's all about like test it. Like test it out. Like post, like go back and forth and post different things and use different verbiage and see what type of interaction you're getting. Like if it's not working, get rid of it. Like if you keep posting, you're like, I don't know why no one's interacting with this. Like why aren't I getting anything? Well, that's probably not what they want to see.
Right.
So like stop doing it.
Right. So do we want to, let's just kind of steer, do we have much else to say about your ideal client? Do we want to steer into that, or is that basically?
I mean, that's kind of what
when
it all
it comes to
down
like your online
that's
presence.
Like the base. Your online presence should be about your ideal client. It should be about connecting with them and getting them to follow you and trust you.
It's another way to create a community, a service for them, essentially. It's a place to...
So all of the points that we're going to talk about is kind of how to do that.
Right.
So I think first of all, like being consistent. If you're not posting, if you post once every 2 weeks, the algorithm like works against you. You're not spending time on the app. You're not getting people like Facebook and Instagram. They want people to stay on their app and use it as much as possible. So if you're not spending time on there, if you're not engaging, they're basically going to like punish you,
like bury your
you
stuff.
know. And if you're on there interacting, if you're posting regularly, if you're getting people to interact with you, then they're going to reward you and they're going to keep like showing your stuff to people. So
Truth.
You have to be consistent.
Right. So consistently posting, generally speaking, like if you're just starting online, I recommend posting like 2 or 3 times a day until you kind of nail down like the hot times for your audience. And then you can kind of like, I can get away with posting 1 time a day during the prime time for my audience now because I've kind of nailed it down. So when I do post, Facebook has rewarded my work on Facebook essentially. And now my post, regardless, like I post 1 time a day during that hot time, everyone sees it and it gets amazing interaction.
Yeah.
But again, going back to how Chloe said, consistency, I always have to make sure that I have a plan, like if I go on vacation, so that I have something to post and I don't just get lost, because even just like a couple days not posting, it's just as easy for you to lose it as it is to get on there and start to build it. So now Instagram, what would you say is a good recommendation for number of posts?
Once
like
a day, at least. I mean, and posting on Instagram too, it's great now because they have the stories, and you can, if you like post a bunch of stories and use hashtags, that's obviously, and a lot of times too, if I have, I do a post that is super informative or I want it to be more interactive, I'll post in my story and be like, oh, I'm talking about this on my last post, or like, if you want to hear more about this, check out my last post, because people are more likely to see your stories. It's right at the top when you go on to
That's the first
Instagram.
thing I look at
Yep,
on Insta. Because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you get like a quick version of what you'd see if you go to their profile anyway, so I always just watch the
and
stories.
it doesn't take you any work of like looking, oh, I kind of wanted to see what so-and-so's doing. It's like, it's in the forefront of your brain. But stories also, like, if you aren't, they kind of get buried like everything else too.
Yep.
Like I'll notice if somebody's not posting a lot of stories, like those kind of get lost as well, and they're not right at the front of what you're looking at. So it's like anything else. And the other thing about Instagram stories too, I think they have a lot of like little tools you can use, like little, I think Facebook probably does too, like the little quizzes or like yes or no, or you can make like, I've seen a lot of people ask their audiences, like, do you guys like stories or my posts better?
Yes. Or
what
do you
like
want to see more recipes or book recommendations?
So use those, because people are literally telling you.
Right.
They'll tell you exactly what they want to see.
Right, and on both platforms, when they launch something new, I cannot encourage you enough to embrace that new thing and use the shiz out of it. Like, for example, Facebook launched those obnoxious little, like, if your status is less than 3 sentences, you can put a color behind it or an obnoxious image, and it becomes almost like an image. And I was like, absolutely not. Disgusting. Like, I hate the look of it. It does nothing for me. I hate it. But it also, like, docked me because Facebook just put the time in to put this new thing out, and I'm not using it. So if Facebook takes the time to put out stories and these new features, and when live video came out, my God, like, no one wanted to do lives, and it took me like a week, and I was like, I need to use this. Like, I need to use this feature. So when you see them coming out with new things, teach yourself how to use it ASAP, because it's going to put you at the forefront, because they're like, heck yes, this girl's using my stuff, using our new content, our new features. So we're going to encourage people.
They're going to reward you again. They'll reward you.
So use those features.
We're like Pavlov's dogs, people. Just do it.
Just do it. So then moving on from consistency, kind of tying into that, you need to constantly be posting about your business, because for a variety of reasons. You said, what, 30% of your audience?
Only 30% of your audience sees what you post.
So if you have 100 friends on Facebook, only 30 of them are seeing what you're posting. So that's like a pretty small number. So and not everyone's on Facebook for business, believe it or not. I know as like business-minded people, you kind of feel like, oh my gosh, everyone's on Facebook for business. But not everyone's on Facebook for business. Some people literally just check social media when they are like making their coffee in the morning or when they're laying in bed at night. They're not on it all day. I'm on it literally all day.
Right.
And so I forget that not everyone sees everything that I'm posting or that I'm doing. So you have to constantly be posting about your business, you're gonna think it's too much, but it's not, because your audience doesn't see everything.
They're not seeing it. It doesn't have to be salesy
that are gonna
like buy this. It can just be something to do with, like,
good
like
point.
what we're saying. Like,
I'm shooting another wedding this weekend. Like, I love weddings. I love love. Like, obviously, I wouldn't say exactly that, but you know what I mean. Like,
to
just
do with your business,
reminding people what you do and why you do it. Like, knowing,
Yes. It could be, like, for me, it's, like, I posted a picture of the new duffel bag that I just got from Younique, and then I had posted a picture of some makeup, and then I had done a live video. If I go, like, I'm posting so consistently on social media, if I go 3 or 4 days without posting about my business, it gets buried. So, again, when a new viewer comes and watches or sees my profile, it's like my business posts are so buried. I want, at any given moment, one of the last 3 or 4 posts to be business related, or at least give them the idea that I'm about that. Like, I love this. I'm about that. Mm-hmm. So
I think that's really important too with Instagram, because I mean, Instagram, everything gets, once again, like, buried so quickly. And if someone ends up clicking on your profile and you have posted, I mean, you see those 6 little squares right away. And if you haven't posted, like for me, like if I haven't posted a picture from a recent shoot, they're just going to be like, oh, this is just like a random girl that likes ramen and whiskey. Which is
cool, because if they connect with you enough, they might stay. Yeah. But you also want them to know what you're about. And that, like, you just don't want them to click follow and be like, yeah, she looks cool, I'll look at her later. Like, you want them to realize right away, this is a photographer that looks rad, has shiz, and I'm going to come back here and look at everything else you've done.
So yeah, and maybe just, like, going back and forth between posting stuff, you know, like, say, like, okay, like, today I'm going to post behind the scenes of what I do, and tomorrow I'm going to post a picture of my coffee, and the next day I'm going to post a picture of a book that I like, and then the next day I'm going to post a picture from a recent project that I did, or like what I'm working on. And once again, stories are great, because even if you're not posting your work every single post, you could still post your work in your story every single day. You can say, this is what I'm working on every single day.
Yes. So consistency and, like, constantly be talking about your business. Don't think that your audience is going to get sick of seeing it, because it's probably one of the reasons that they love you.
Yeah.
Okay? The next biggest thing for me is interacting with your audience. So if you're posting on Facebook, but you're not going back and commenting back at people that are talking to you, and you're not interacting with them and building a relationship and kind of creating a culture around your business, your posts aren't going to do anything.
Right.
So if you're not engaging back with your audience, it's the worst thing that you can do.
It's like double bad. Because
yeah.
you're losing them because you're not talking.
Yeah, they're going to be like,
Right.
oh, that was awkward. Like, I just tried to interact with them
Yeah.
and they totally burned
Just
me.
ignore,
Exactly.
or ignored, yeah.
And it's also going to make your future posts worse. Like,
Right. And the nice thing is that I don't do it right away. Like, if I go live at night the next day, I'll go back and respond to all the comments, or at least comment and say thanks for watching, because then my comments bump it back into the news feed. Okay,
That's
so
good.
then you're able to, you're basically getting a second wash of being able to have your post viewed. So be kind of strategic about it. Don't just go and answer right away, but save it for a couple hours later and then bump it again. And then the other thing is, before you do a post and you want it to do really, really well, I highly recommend going on and interacting, commenting, liking, whatever, and doing that for like 10 minutes before you post,
Yeah.
and then post or go live, and then spend like 5 or 10 minutes after you post interacting again, and it will kind of like, it'll raise your algorithm for just a little bit, enough for where people are like, oh, she's talking to all these people, so it'll bump into their news
Yeah.
feeds. So go on and invest a couple minutes before and after you post or go live to kind of validate that post and make Facebook see it as more valuable.
Same with Instagram. If you kind of prep your post and you have your hashtags, like you know which hashtags you're going to use, before you post, go on and interact with other people who are using those same hashtags, or people that you know usually interact with your stuff on Instagram. Go on, spend 10 to 30 minutes interacting with those, like people that you, like I said, like regular followers of yours, and then like new people that have the same vibe. But like, don't just pick random people. Like, be like authentic about
Right.
it. You know, be genuine.
Take the time.
But yeah, go and do that, and then post, and then afterwards go and interact again with people that use the same, post with the same hashtags.
Right.
And I think too, kind of spinning off of that, is post for your ideal client, not your peers in your business.
Your industry, yeah.
In your industry, yeah. So if I post a picture on Instagram from a wedding, and I use hashtags like wedding photographer, Wisconsin wedding photographer, looks like film, VSCO cam, stuff like that, no one that's a potential client of mine knows what those things are. I mean, maybe a few of them do,
Photographer,
but most, like, if you're not a photographer, chances are you're not going on and looking at the hashtag VSCO and looks like film, because that's like photographer talk for editing photos. Like, your ideal client doesn't know that. And I'm going to call my mom out here. I just told her the other day, so my mom makes these sugar flowers out of gum paste for cakes, and they're insane. And the other day she had posted on Instagram and she hashtagged David Austin Rose, which I was like, Mom, none of your ideal clients know what a David Austin Rose is. Like, that is that's a type of sugar flower that one of her mentors, like, basically created. I was like, don't post that. Like, don't use that hashtag, because the only other people you're going to attract are other cake decorators who are probably not going to buy from you.
Right.
Unless you're doing like a workshop or you're an educator. So be posting things like, so for like a wedding photo, it can be like couple goals, or summer loving, or darling weekend.
Blah, blah, blah,
Sassy.
I love you. I love it.
I love it.
It was
I'm
just
so
an
glad
example.
she was watching.
So yeah, using hashtags that are going to attract your ideal client, which once again, go look where your ideal client is already hanging out and use those hashtags, or find someone that you're like, they would be my ideal client, and look at the hashtags that they're using and then use those.
Right.
Okay?
Okay. I think another good point to make about the content that you're posting is to balance information with entertainment. So a little bit of both. So for me, that looks like I'm posting about how to make your makeup stay during summer heat waves. And then I'm going to post about a look that I did on a bride last weekend. And then I'm going to post like a funny meme or a quote. And I'm balancing entertainment and like providing just like mindless amusement to my audience because people like that. That's why people, it's like the two main reasons that people are on the internet. It's either for information or to entertain themselves. So if you can balance that and like alternate or like bounce back and forth between those, you're going to be able to give your audience value while also keeping them entertained and engaged while they're on your page. So
and they might like what you have to say as far as information, but sometimes they want to know, like, you're a real person or be entertained by you. It's like you have another dimension to yourself.
That's a great transition to, like, creating a culture around your business on your personal page, business page, Instagram, whatever. But create that culture, that personality. Give your business a personality. And I've said this a million times, but I struggle with this. And so literally yesterday, I was just like, it was a day for me, and I was just like not feeling it. I didn't feel like being informative. I had nothing entertaining to say. I was kind of in a dumpy mood. And so honestly, I just went on there and was like, straight up, it turns out I'm an introvert and I hate being like in front of people all day long, but I'm really trying to share more with you because I want to connect with you as my audience. So thank you for your patience as I try to kind of peel back the layers and share more with you guys. And the post got amazing interaction for me because I was just being honest. They got to know me a little bit better, even if it was just me admitting, like, I don't want anyone to get to know me. But it was good. So you want to be able to create a culture, and because a lot of the time what brings people back is how you make them feel.
Yes.
So, like, how you made them feel when they came to your profile. If you gave them little tidbits of information, you entertained them, you made them laugh, and you were raw and you were honest and you connected with them, they'll come back to get that same feeling because that's all anyone really wants is this, like, a sliver of connection. So if
they're
you can,
scrolling, they're looking.
Yeah. So it may be mindless, but if they catch something that really makes them feel something, they'll come back for more.
Yeah. I mean, this doesn't really have to do with social media. It's just an example of like making your clients feel something and giving them an experience. I was just reading an article about talking about how couples that got married, like the way that their photographer made them feel on their wedding day affected like the way that they viewed their pictures. So their pictures could have been the most beautiful pictures in the world, but if their photographer all day was like grumpy and like bossy and rude and totally cold and not fun, like they're like, we hate our pictures, like these pictures suck.
Right.
Because that's how their photographer made them feel, or if they didn't make them feel special, then they don't feel like their pictures are special.
Right.
Which, like I said, doesn't really have to do with social media, but
no, but that's a really good example.
Making people feel something.
Right. Well, and that
really
just
important.
like that makes me think of an example. So at the gym, we see like our clients and the people that pay to like come do group training or do personal training, we see the best results when their trainer is energized and passionate and makes them as the client feel good. We see better results because they're more dedicated. They want to see their trainer be proud of them. And so you see better results because of the energy you created and how you made them feel. So the same thing goes for online. You're going to see better results with your business if you can make people feel an emotion.
Yeah.
Whether your post is like trying to make them think like deeper, or if you're trying to make them feel happy or whatever. You're going to be able to get that connection a lot quicker if you can make them feel something in comparison to like basically all the white noise that comes at them.
Oh, bless.
God bless, honey.
So yeah, that's something to remember when you're just sitting there like, I don't know what to post. What do I say? Just remember to try to make them feel something like one way or another, or connect with them.
Yes.
And be engaging when you post. So the goal obviously is to get people interacting. Words are hard. talking, those things, because talking's difficult. So my point. So be engaging. When you're posting like a caption or something on Instagram or Facebook, don't just say, because like we were saying, share personal stuff, share things that are entertaining sometimes, but think about your ideal client in mind. So if you go out for margaritas and you're just like, post a picture of margarita and you're like, margaritas are good. People are gonna be like,
speaking to me right
okay.
now.
Like keep
I'm
scrolling.
the worst at captions.
But if you say something like, oh, double tap if you need a margarita today.
If you're
or something.
thirsty.
If you're thirsty,
margaritas.
or like give them a question, give them something simple to answer. So be like, team blended margaritas or team on the rocks. Mm-hmm. Something like that, so that they're like,
or who's your Thursday night margarita? Take your Thursday night margarita crew. Something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, do something like that to give them something to do. Give them, a response. Give them a prompt to do something.
Get them engaged. Entertain them. Inform them.
Be consistent.
And keep engaging back consistently. And don't ever think you're talking about your business too much. Because if it's your passion, hit it.
Talk about it.
Do
Talk
it.
about the why. Talk about your passion. We've said that before. Share your story.
Always be talking.
Why behind the what.
So.
It's so early. What do we
do?
do?
We want to
so light out. Do we want to bring someone on this week? I'm just kidding.
Pam?
Who wants to join in and ask us questions?
Just kidding. Not tonight.
Not tonight.
Do we want to talk about content creation?
Oh, we should.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's announce it. Do it.
Let's announce it. So, sometimes the biggest thing is you might have something to say. You'd be like, I have all these ideas and I have so much information to give my potential clients and followers, but I don't have anything to post. Like, I don't have a picture to post. Or maybe you have pictures to post and you don't know what to say behind it.
Or you just ain't got time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you just don't got time in the morning to take cool pics.
Or you forget, because Chloe, we had a birthday weekend in Madison, and we were going to take pictures all day,
take all the pictures.
I don't even know what happened on this weekend because there are no images.
Because there are no photos.
No one needs to know about it.
So
anyways, so we would love to do a little workshop, a content creation day, where basically we're going to have tons of little prop things like French press and coffee beans and maybe some like fresh cut flowers and greens and pens and cute office supply things. And basically you're going to sign up, you're going to come, you're going to bring some of your own stuff. Maybe it's books that you've been reading, maybe it's maybe you
like things to do with your business. For me, I brought, when we did this, I had a bunch of makeup.
Mm-hmm.
I used some of like the makeup bags.
Yeah.
I used
sunglasses,
a lot of my notebooks,
flip-flops,
things. Yes. So basically, we are going to use all of our creative powers and create content,
like a
and
bunch
images.
Of content for you, and
love it.
I'm gonna take a couple headshots of you because you should be posting pictures of yourself. Like, if people don't know what you look like that's not a good thing. They should be seeing you consistently. So that they know who you are and they have a face to like put with your business. So I'm gonna do a couple pictures of you so that you have some cute stuff to post of yourself. And then we're gonna show you how to set up pictures. We're gonna help you come up with some ideas to create some content so that you have stuff to post in the future. We're going to show you how to use, maybe you have a DSLR of your own, or maybe you just have your iPhone. You're going to bring that and we're going to show you how to use them and how to create content. So that's kind of
figure out almost like a posting
calendar,
like a journal kind of thing.
All of all the details about putting out amazing content. And we haven't chosen a date yet. We don't have all the details nailed down, but we wanted to get you guys excited about it.
Yeah,
because it's going to be amazing. So fun. Because I saved all the pictures that we took that day. I've got them saved on my phone. And there's been a couple days where I'm just like, I don't on the way to the wedding on Saturday. I was like, I've got nothing to do. I've got nothing to post right now. I've got nothing to do. Maybe you have a track phone.
Maybe you have a track phone.
We'll figure it out, honey. That day we're gonna figure it out.
And
Yes.
if nothing else, it'll just be pictures that I'm taking for you. And then we're
Yes.
going to have a little
put 'em
gallery that you'll
online.
have access to.
Which is what I was
And you can
getting
post
at.
stuff.
Was that
Sorry.
I had this little gallery,
Yeah.
and then I just pulled a picture from it and made a little post, and
Mm-hmm.
it got oodles of interaction because it was eye catching and it pertained to what I like. So people, it was
Yeah.
amazing.
And then
so
it's going to be great too because
fab.
it's kind of hard for us to give examples that are specific to you. And I know we can be giving our own examples and you're like, yeah, but like I train dogs. Like, what am I going to post? I am a dog trainer,
I'll bring it.
you know? And then you know what? We're going to be able to give you so many ideas because that was
Yes.
just a silly example, but I already have so many ideas because sometimes it's easier to come up with ideas
Actually,
for other
a lot
people.
of times.
Yes.
You know, and
You're
that's the
great
great
at
thing
doing
too
that.
about having a big group of people, more than just like you one-on-one. Like you're gonna be able to network with other people and bounce ideas off of each other, and
People might be able to tell you what they would want to see from you.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good in
Valuable.
so many ways.
Yes.
So stay tuned for details on that.
That's happening.
We'll bring you more information when
Let
we
us know
have
if
it
you're
available.
interested.
If you're definitely interested in that,
Yeah,
let
like
us know.
legit comment if you're interested
Raise
because
your
if none of you say that you're interested,
It's
Then
not gonna
it's not gonna
we'll
happen.
We'll
do
just
another
do it
one
ourselves.
we'll just do it for us
alone.
But it'd
You
be more
guys-
fun if you guys were there. So
Yeah,
Okay.
need to be there. All right,
that.
so everybody have a great night. Stay tuned, and
Thanks
we'll
for
talk
hanging.
soon.
post something on social media.